Welcome to Soulrise Stories, where real people, real struggles, and real motivation come to life. Let's begin today's inspiring journey. He was born in a broken neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, where every night felt like a war zone, and every morning started with sirens, not sunshine. His name was Tyler Brooks, a skinny kid with messy hair and a heart full of hope. His father left when he was just 2 years old, and his mother worked double shifts at a diner, struggling to pay rent for their one-bedroom apartment. Most nights, Tyler slept on the couch, holding his little sister close to keep her warm, because the heating never worked. He never complained. He just kept dreaming. His dream? To become an architect. Not because he saw beautiful buildings around him, he didn't, but because he wanted to build homes for people like his family, people who had nothing. At school, he was quiet, often the kid with worn-out shoes and second-hand clothes. He didn't have the latest gadgets, or even lunch money most days. But he had a notebook, a pencil, and a habit of drawing buildings on every paper. Every desk, even on old pizza boxes he found in the trash. Teachers noticed. One of them, Mr. Reynolds, gave him a used architecture magazine and said, "You've got something, kid. Don't waste it." That one sentence stuck with Tyler like a fire in his chest. But dreams didn't feed families, and reality hit hard. When Tyler turned 15, his mother got sick, real sick. She couldn't work anymore. Bills piled up. Eviction notices came. One day, Tyler returned home to find their apartment locked and all their belongings in black trash bags. They were officially homeless. That night, they slept in a shelter. Tyler stared at the ceiling, holding his sister's hand, thinking, "This can't be it. I can't let this be our story." The next day, he went to school anyway. Same clothes, same shoes, same hunger, but a different fire. He started working part-time at a grocery store after school and used every spare moment to study architecture online at the public library. He couldn't afford classes, but he watched free YouTube videos, downloaded open-source textbooks, and practiced sketching blueprints until his fingers hurt. At 17, he applied for an internship at a small architecture firm. He didn't lie on his resume. He had no degree, no formal training, just passion. At first, they laughed. Then one senior architect opened his sketchbook and saw something. Raw talent, hunger, drive. They gave him a chance. Tyler worked harder than anyone else. He cleaned floors, made coffee, filed papers, and stayed late just to study designs. Months passed. They gave him small tasks, then real ones. One day, he redesigned a client's garage plan, and the client loved it. That was the beginning. He earned a small stipend, saved every dollar, and paid for night classes at a community college. It wasn't a fancy school, but to Tyler, it was a golden door. He kept rising. 4 years later, he got accepted into a top university for architecture with a full scholarship based on his portfolio and life story. From living in a shelter to walking on a college campus, Tyler never forgot where he came from. After graduating, he worked with renowned firms, earning more than he ever dreamed. But he wasn't done. At age 27, Tyler opened his own architecture company called RootRise, focused on building affordable housing for low-income families across the United States. His company designed smart, sustainable, and beautiful homes for those who needed them most. And he hired people like himself, those who just needed one chance. Today, Tyler is known as the Architect of Hope. His designs are featured in magazines. His TED Talk has millions of views, and schools across the country study his life story. But if you ask him what he's proud of, he'll take you to one of his first projects, a shelter in Chicago that now houses 50 families. And in the corner of his bright office sits an old, torn notebook with his first sketches. He keeps it to remind himself that success isn't about money, fame, or status. It's about choosing not to quit, choosing to fight when everything falls apart. choosing to build even when the world says you can't. Tyler Brooks started with nothing, no father, no home, no money. But he changed everything. Because sometimes the ones who start with the least end up giving the most. Like, share, and subscribe if you felt this story hit your heart. And remember, this is your time. Stay strong,